Let's now create a wireframe by using the minimal wireframe kit we duplicated earlier. Once you have the minimal wireframe kit open on Figma, let's start by adding a page. You can rename it to wireframe for startup landing page. After, select on frame. And right now we're designing for a desktop, so under the desktop drop down, select desktop. We'll first start by creating our navbar. In the previous video we've created a mood board and we added that to our Figma file, so let's get that here so we have everything in one place. So type in mood board, and we can duplicate that by going to our mood board, and under layers, if you just select on frame 1, Control C, and if you go back to the mood board, you can just duplicate it pressing Control V. We will first start by creating our navbar, and before doing that, let's create a layout grid so that everything stays aligned. And if we go back to our mood board, the thing that you'd find to be common along all is a navbar that has the company logo, contact section, about us, and depending on the nature of your startup or business, you'd make minor adjustments. Adding a call to action on your navbar would also be a good idea. To get our navbar, let's go to assets, and under assets, this wireframe kit comes with a navbar that is already made, so all we have to do is pull that to our currently we see that the get started button is outside of the grid that we have placed, and we can fix that by double clicking on get started. And to our right, there's, if you press on this 3 dots, you can detach the instance, and once you detach it, you can just move it out of the navbar frame. And we can do the same for our header component and move it outside, and we can do the same for logo, and we can remove this frame, so now it's easier to navigate. We can have our logo up top, and we can make sure that everything is aligned by highlighting all elements of our navbar, followed by selecting the align vertical centers, and yeah, it looks better. Instead of get started, I'm just going to replace this with get in touch. And now we can go back to layers and go back to our mood board. All of the landing pages have some sort of image on their home page. So let's go back to the wireframe page. You can go to assets, represent, that would be placing an image. A width of 598 by 446 should be good enough. And now if we go back to our mood board, we can see that all of the companies have some sort of short description of what they offer. For the text, let's see if we have resources in our assets. If we go to assets and under wireframe kit, we can see that there are different contents, and there happens to be a hero section that we can take advantage of. So, and for now we already have an image placeholder placed, so we can just take this portion by copying it, Control C, going back to our wireframe and pasting that back and making sure that it's aligned. Yep, this looks good enough. We do not need the second button, so I can delete that. If we go back to our mood board, we can have something like this. We are and put our company's name. For now, let's say our company name is UB event. So for the paragraph, just remove that and place something that would make sense for an educational startup to say, such as succeed by learning efficiently. Learning should not be seen instead of primary button, replace the text with something like learn more. It's very hard to move things around this frame, so it's better to detach every instance. Let's place an arrow. I noticed that the navbar is a little low, so let's move that a little to the top by highlighting everything and just going up. And yeah, this is good. But we can also move the image and the text a little to the top.